All right, what's going on, guys? I am back after a lengthy break for making videos. I just really didn't have the time, I just really have the time to make videos. I'm back. I think I'll have more time to make more videos. I'm not sure if I can get one out every day, but that's what I'm trying to do. So let me just update you guys with what's going on in my DraftKings right now. Uh, it's May was just a great month for me in general. It was a I don't think I think I cashed. Let's see. No, I didn't cash like 3 or 4 days. That was it. And like the other, like I cashed every other day. So May was just awesome for me. Hopefully, I can continue it into June. Um, if you guys follow me on Twitter, you would have saw that. I understand that it's a high scoring slate, but 2 days ago I hit like a 225, and that really just was the icing on the cake. Um, Hopefully, I can continue it into June. Let's get on to it. So right here today, starting at the pitchers, we got Kershaw at the top at 13,100. He's going up against Milwaukee, who likes to strike out a ton. They don't have their best right-handed hitter in Ryan Braun. I love Kershaw. I mean, there's nothing else much to say. Kershaw is Kershaw. He's going to get you what you need. Um, Up next is Steven Strasburg at 12,000. Strasburg was absolutely dominant against San Diego last game. He was also really good against Atlanta the game before that. Um, he's been striking out a ton of batters recently, and Oakland loves to strike out a lot. So Strasburg is If Kershaw is the best pitcher on the slate, Strasburg is not that far behind. So those two guys are the top guys. I expect a lot more people to kind of gravitate towards Strasburg because he's $1,000 cheaper, and you could argue he has a better matchup. But I think because of that, will actually drive down Kershaw's ownership. And I like Kershaw better in cash games, anyways. So I think Kershaw is firmly in play for tournaments and cash games. Moving on, we got Dallas Keuchel and Yu Darvish. That game might get rained out. Um, that game's gonna. I think might get rained out. Either way, I'm not gonna play either of those guys. If I'm paying up for a starting pitcher that's gonna be above 10,000, it's gonna be Strasburg or Kershaw today. Darvish is going up against one of the toughest hitting clubs in baseball. Up next is Michael Pineda. I'm going to take a wait and see in this because Toronto's offense is fully back and healthy. They look dangerous against Cincy. Now, it is Cincy's pitching. Cincinnati's pitching is awful. So I'm going to and CC Sabathia did do really well against them yesterday, although they didn't have Tulo or Donaldson in the lineup, I don't believe. No, they might have had him. That might have been the day before. Anyway, CC did really well against them yesterday. So for that reason, I don't know how I feel about Pineda. I'm probably going to take a wait and see approach on him not on him, but like more on the Toronto offense before I decide what I want to do with pitchers against Toronto. Because before I was, targeting a lot of pitchers against Toronto, and now I'll have to wait and see. Up next is Michael Fulmer. Michael Fulmer is a pretty solid starting pitching two option in my opinion at 8,000. At Chicago, he gave up what 3 runs, had 16.5 fantasy points. So I like Michael Fulmer. I don't like Eric Cole. I don't like Porcello. Odorizzi's not bad. I don't like Josh Tomlin. One of my favorite sleepers is Herman Marquez. This guy has great stuff. I've watched him pitch a few times. He has great stuff. With that being said, I expect him to be very high owned today just because he's so cheap and he's going up against San Diego in Petco. Um, and so you might want to not play him in tournaments, but in cash games, he's firmly in play. I like him. Jason Ramirez, I don't like Derek Holland. I don't like Jimmy Nelson. I don't like Jason Vargas, Liriano, or Patrick Corbin. I don't like Harvey. I don't like Eichhoff. Eichhoff actually isn't awful, depending on what the San Francisco lineup looks like, but I'm not going to be playing him tonight. Here's my favorite sleeper. Here's a guy that I like more, actually, than I like Marquez. It's Clayton Richard here. Clayton Richard at 5,200, he is way too cheap. Now, you might be wondering, okay, he's going up against Colorado. He's a lefty. Colorado has some nice righty bats in Ian Desmond, Trevor Story, Nolan Arenado. Okay, Colorado's offense is not that great on the road. Their numbers are largely inflated due to the fact that they play at Coors Field for half their games. If you look at some of these games or the teams that he's pitched against this season, you can see, you know, you can see Arizona. Uh, in Arizona, when he was at home, he pitched really well. He's at home today, which is really why I like him. Against Arizona at home, who also have really good right-handed bats, and Chris Owings. They have Paul Goldschmidt. They have Jake Lamb, who's a lefty, but still he's a great hitter. He still had 27.6 points. Um, Against Arizona, again, he had 33.8 points. Against Washington, he had 10.9. Um, so I really like Clayton Richard here. He's very cheap, and I think could easily exceed value. So that's about it for pitchers. It's going to be either Kershaw, Strasburg at the top, Fulmer in the middle, Marquez, and Clayton Richard at the bottom. So moving on to the catchers here, we got Posey. I'm not a huge fan of. Gary Sanchez is starting to heat up. I like Gary Sanchez against Liriano. Let's see, moving on. I love Yasmani Grandal today. I like Tyler Flowers. I like JT Realmuto. I love Salvi Perez. He's had great numbers against Tomlin in his career. I don't like Alex Avila that much. Chris Herman, if he plays, is interesting. Let's see. Moving down here, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of these guys. Um, Martin Maldonado, always worth a look. He's always very cheap, so I always kind of he's my go-to guy if I need to save some money, and you guys know I don't like to pay up for catchers, so he's really my go-to guy to play someone that's under 3,000. To be completely honest, let's see. Yeah, I don't really see anyone else that I really like that much. Tucker Barnhart, maybe. He's interesting. Tucker Barnhart's very cheap. He's interesting. I'm not a but with that being said, I'm probably going to be playing guys in the middle here like Yasmani Grandal or Salvi Perez. Moving on to first base, we got Goldschmidt at the top. Goldschmidt's one of the best first baseman options almost every day, but today's not one of those days. I'm going to be leaning towards Joey Votto, who demolishes right into pitching. Fultonovich is not that great of a pitcher, so I love Joey Votto. I like Logan Morrison, but not as much as I like Joey Votto. I would just rather pay up 300 to get Joey Votto. Justin Bour, I think, is going to go very under-owned today, um, but I still think that he's going to perform well. Let's see. Bellinger is interesting against Jimmy Nelson. I like Pujols tonight. I think Pujols hits his 600th homer tonight against Kyle Gibson. You heard it here first. Let's see. I love Miggy. Miggy is very underpriced, and I think Miggy hits one out today. I really like Miguel Cabrera. Lucas Duda is interesting. He's worth a look against Garrett Cole, who struggles with lefties. I like Matt Holliday, who's had good numbers against Liriano in his career. Let's see. I like Jay Bruce. Like I said, lefties against Garrett Cole. Here's a guy I really like, Brandon Belt. If he's in the lineup, I really like him against Jared Eichhoff. Let's see. There's really not a lot of... Matt Adams right here. I like Matt Adams to hit a home run today against Bronson Arroyo, who's just awful. Let's see. I don't see... Josh Bell. If he plays, maybe he can get out of his slump. I like him because he's very cheap, so maybe he can get out of his slump. I'm not sure. I've been burned by playing Josh Bell before, but I might be going back that well if I need a cheap first baseman. So moving on to the second baseman here. We got Jose Altuve at the top. Like I said, that game's might get rained out. I don't like the matchup against Yu Darvish anyway, so no. I'm not a huge fan of Jose Ramirez tonight. I'm not a huge fan of Dozier. Um, don't like D Gordon that much. Daniel Murphy is interesting against Andrew Triggs, but Triggs is a ground ball pitcher, so that might limit Murphy's ability to hit a home run. Adam Frazier is very interesting, although he's been slumping recently. He went 0 for 7 yesterday, or his last game. Oh my. Anyways, I still like Adam Frazier against Matt Harvey. Matt Harvey struggles with lefties, like I said. Here's my second or favorite second baseman. It's Jason Kipnis. Now, Kipnis has burned me many times before, but I love Jason Kipnis today. I really do. I really think he's gonna have a really good game. I like Starlin Castro. I like Whit Merrifield. I love Brandon Phillips tonight as well. He's going up against his former team in Cincinnati, and he's going up against Bronson Arroyo, which is even better. So I love Brandon Phillips. Um, yeah, besides those guys, I'm not really seeing anyone else that I really like down here. Yeah, so I don't really see anyone else that I really like that much down here. Um, at the time that I'm making this, the lineups haven't been released yet, so I can't really go into sleepers and stuff like that, but I'm gonna try my best to cover all bases here. Jake Lamb against Jose Arena. Jake Lamb absolutely hits right-handed pitching really well, so he could be worth a look today against Jose Arena. I love Evan Longoria today. I expect him to go very under-owned, but I love Evan Longoria today. Um, he's very expensive, but I think he's one of my favorite third baseman plays. Um, like I already said, I didn't like Ramirez. I don't like. Well, I said I'm not going to be playing Pineda against the Blue Jays bats yet. I don't like the Blue Jays bats against Pineda, who's very solid this season. Who's been very solid this season. I don't like Gallo. I don't like Bregman or Rendon or Moustakas. I don't like Pablo Sandoval. I don't like Kyle Seager. I like Manny Machado. His price has come down to the point where I think you could think about playing him again against Porcello, who is giving up a lot of hard contact this season. I think Machado hits a home run today, and he's very cheap now. This is probably the cheapest he's going to be all season. I expect him to break out of this funk that he's in. Eugenio Suarez has kind of cooled down since his extremely hot start, um, but he's still hitting really well, and he's still a good third baseman. I like him against Voltanovich. I really like Ryan Schimpf here. He only hits fly balls. He's literally only hitting home runs or getting out. He doesn't hit any ground balls, and Marquez does give up a decent amount of hard contact and a decent amount of fly balls against lefties. So I like Ryan Schimpf. Um, Adonis Garcia could be worth a look. He's coming back from injury today, so he could be worth a look. Jose Reyes could be worth a look against Garrett Cole, who, like I said, struggles against lefties. Um, Nick Castellanos, I know his numbers look pretty bad, but he's going up against Derek Holland, and if you've been with me for a while, you know I don't like Derek Holland. I think he's a very bad pitcher. Although his numbers, I think he's like a 2 point something ERA. I know he's gonna blow up eventually. So, if you want, and I think it's today. I think you can target a lot of Detroit hitters against Derek Holland today. Escobar at third base, I love him. He's very cheap, and he's going up against Kyle Gibson, which is all you need to know. He's going up against Kyle Gibson, who's one of the worst pitchers in baseball. So I love Escobar. Let's see. Um, I don't see anyone else that I'm really liking. So we're gonna move on to shortstops now. Correa at the top, no. I don't like Xander Bogaerts. Lindor could be worth a look. Francisco Lindor could be worth a look against Jason Vargas. Zach Cozart, his price has really gone up, but he's really been hitting the ball well, so he could be worth a look. Let's see. I love Corey Seager. He's probably my favorite shortstop play. Andrelton Simmons has been heating up at the plate lately. He's going up against Kyle Gibson, so he could be worth a look. Um, let's see. That's Brandon Crawford could be worth a look against Eichhoff, who struggles with lefties, so he could be worth a look. Um, if Dixon Machado hits in the top part of the lineup again, he could be worth a look. He's very cheap. Alexi Amarista could be worth a look. He's very cheap. Um, let's see. I'm not really seeing anyone else that I like that much. Yeah, I'm not seeing anyone else that I like here. So, hold on. Yes, so we're gonna be moving on to the outfield. In the outfield here, we got Mookie Betts at the top. Uh, I don't like the Red Sox bats in this game, even against Alec Asher, who's a rookie. The Red Sox have just been so inconsistent. Like, they've been in great spots before, but they just haven't been able to like pull through. So I really can't trust Red Sox bats. Let's see. Blackman, I'm not a huge fan of. Corey Dickerson, I'm not a huge fan of. He's too expensive. Duvall, I think, could hit one out today. Aaron Judge, I like. I love J.D. Martinez. Um, Billy Hamilton is very expensive, but he's not bad. Because if he gets on first, he's going to steal his way to third. Giancarlo and Marcelo Zuna, you see their prices. They are priced up for this matchup here. Now, with that being said, I do not like targeting hitters in that Miami ballpark. I was watching a game a few nights ago, and I saw Howie Kendrick absolutely rocket a ball, and it turned out to be a routine fly ball. It would have been gone in any other state. Not any other stadium, but most other stadiums. Um, but either way, Giancarlo and Zuna still do have massive power, so they could be worth a look. Conforto, like I said, Garrett Cole struggles against lefties. I love Matt Kemp tonight. He's had great numbers against Bronson Arroyo, and he's hit really well. He's home runs in back-to-back games. Let's see. Michael Brantley, I like. I think he's going to get overlooked. Domingo Santana is very expensive because he hits lefties well, but that lefty he's facing today is Kershaw, so I'd stay away from him. Scott Schebler, I like against Mike Voltanovich. Let's see. I like Adam Jones. He's heating up lately. Um, I said I wouldn't target Red Sox bats, but Benintendi is intriguing to me. He's been really slumping lately, but I do like Benintendi. I like Ender Inciarte against Arroyo. I like anyone against Arroyo. Same with Kyle Gibson. I like anyone against Kyle Gibson. I like Jay Bruce. I like Justin Upton. I like Mark Trumbo. Aaron Hicks. As a Yankees fan, I'm so happy to see this guy finally coming around with the bat. I know he's went through a lot of struggles last season. He's been hitting really well. He's worth a look. Let's see. Um, I'm not seeing anyone else that I really like down here. Oh, Matt Adams. I already went over him. I like him. If Bradley Zimmer plays, I think he's worth a look. I think he's very interesting. Max Kepler. I like Max Kepler. I like Nick Markakis. Let's see. I like Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo Cain is very cheap, and I think he does. I think he hits Josh Tomlin hard today. Um, I'm not seeing anyone here that I like besides Seth Smith against Rick Porcello. Seth Smith is priced way too cheap, so I like Seth Smith. Um, Andrew Romine, he's worth a look. He's still very cheap. Let's see. I'm not really seeing anyone else that I like here that much. Ben Gamble's very cheap now, and he's produces whenever he plays. So if he hits in the top part of the order, he could be worth a look. But besides those guys, I'm not seeing anyone else I like here. So that's gonna wrap up this video. Um, real quickly, real quickly, I am going to go through each game and talk about a player who I think is going to hit a home run. So let's do that real quick. In the Boston-Baltimore game, it's Manny Machado. I think Machado hits a home run in this game. San Francisco-Philly, it's going to be Brandon Belt for me. I think Brandon Belt can hit a home run this game. New York against Toronto, I'm going to go Aaron Judge. Arizona at Miami, I'm going to go. Am I going to go? I'm going to either go Giancarlo or Marcelo Ozuna. I think I'm going to go Marcelo Ozuna. Pittsburgh at New York, I'm going to go. Geez, I think I'm going to go. If Gregory Polanco plays, I might be going him, but otherwise I'm going Jay Bruce. Um, yeah, no, not Curtis Granderson, Jay Bruce. Yeah, I think Jay Bruce can hit a home run there. Chicago at Detroit, it's Miguel Cabrera. Atlanta and Cincinnati, Joey Votto or Matt Kemp. Houston at Texas, I didn't really go too much into this game just because I do think it's going to get rained down, and regardless, I don't think you should target anyone from this game. So, yeah. But if I had to pick one, and if they do play, I'm going to be going with Brian McCann. Dodgers at Milwaukee, I'm going to go Corey Seager. And Cleveland at Kansas City, I'm going to go Salvador Perez. Washington at Oakland, I'll go. I think I'm going to go with Daniel Murphy, I guess. I don't really like any of the bats in that game. Minnesota at the Angels, Albert Pujols, I think he hits his 600th tonight. Tampa Bay at Seattle, it's going to be Evan Longoria for me. And Colorado at San Diego, it would be Ryan Schimpf. So that's about it. Real quickly, someone did catch my eye as I was doing this. It's going to be Brian Goodwin, who's very cheap, and he should be hitting near the top part of the order. I know he hit second one game and like sixth the other game. So good. I like Goodwin. He's very cheap. If you need a cheap outfielder, you can look towards him. But besides that, I'm done. If you guys like the video, please leave a like on it. And any suggestions or feedback, leave it in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to the channel. All right, thanks, guys. I'll see you guys later.